two touch, yeah, we're locked in. I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello and welcome to episode 25 of One Game at a Time. I'm Seb O'Neill, as always, joined by this time only two. David's still away on his holiday, so we'll see him back soon. But for now, I'm still joined by Alessio Carocci. Alessio, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. Another week on the up for the Mount Barker. But other than that, yeah, it's been pretty chilled out. Good weather as well for the start of this week. Nice and sunny, so it's always good.
Absolutely, and also, as always, joined by Mark Talbot. Mark, how are you doing? How's your day? What did you have for breakfast? What was your dinner like?
Mate, you don't want to know any of those. But no, all is well. Just keeping an eye on the Adelaide United game and watched the Campbelltown game last night. So just hopefully some of the Adelaide boys get through.
Yeah, we'll speak about that Campbelltown game in a bit. Just as we were going live, Adelaide United have gone 1-0 up against Blacktown City through Stefan Mork. So a good start, hopefully can continue for them. More SA teams through. Only two more left to possibly have through, but we'll talk about that in a bit. We'll start, as always, with our picks of the week. I'll go first and to talk about Nestor Nkunda, of course, is over at Bayern Munich now, was supposed to be a part of their second team, their campus team, but seems to be heavily involved with their first team side at the moment, as playing preseason friendlies, has scored 2 goals with the first team, looks to be going out to Korea on a preseason tour with the first team, hasn't even been making youth team squads, been on the bench of the senior team. There's been even video of one-on-one with him and Vincent Kompany as well. So it's quite impressive seeing this kid accelerate pretty quickly already in Germany so far, I think.
Yeah, look, it's great for the game. It just shows you what Adelaide can produce, really. I mean, he's been in our setup for a number of years, and it's great to see. I hope it continues, and we produce more players like that can start going overseas more. And we are producing quite a lot. We've obviously got players in all over the world, to be honest. So let's just hope we can continue to build on that and keep producing these players.
Absolutely, very much hoping he at least gets a Bundesliga goal, I think, at this rate this season. Mark, we'll move on to you for your pick. What do you have for us?
I have young Bovalina, who we all know from Adelaide United days, who really burst onto the scene. He's now bursting on the scene in the MLS with an absolute weldy of a goal. His first goal for his MLS club. I think you might have the highlights here, which is great to see young Bovalina doing so well as well. I mean, look at that for a finish. Not bad for a left back. So not bad at
against
all.
Wrexham,
no, it's great
no less as well.
Against Wrexham in their tour in America. So yeah, look, it's just great to see we've got, like I said, producing players that can take on the world stage and get to these clubs. And I mean, the MLS, I've said this before, the MLS is just getting better, and it's becoming now a spot where a lot of UK clubs are going to find players. So they're branching out. They've realised that the MLS is starting to get bigger and better, and if we can get more Aussies into the MLS, as well as obviously we've got Nestor in Germany, but if we can start getting a few more players into MLS, then they might get looked at again. And when you score goals like that against what has become a world-renowned team now in Wrexham with their docu-series and their owners, they're only on their way up. So hopefully it bodes well, and he can hopefully move on to bigger and better than MLS, and who knows, eventually Australia and whatnot, and we go from there and produce more and more.
Absolutely. We even saw Lockie Brook recently signed for Real Salt Lake as well in the US, moving from Western Sydney. So seeing a lot of more Australians move over to that side of the world.
Yeah. The MLS, like I said, it's getting bigger and better, and it's not a league where players are now just going to finish their careers. We know that some of the best players in the world will, but it's also a great place now for these youngsters to go to and start making a name for themselves.
Even Girdwood Reich from Sydney FC went
Yep.
over there as well. So there's definitely a few
Yep.
there now in America.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Very, very good to see. Alessio, on to you with your pick, a very, very interesting one that might affect you and your team next season.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that the 7 teams that nominated themselves in the expressions of interest. So you got Elizabeth Grove Soccer Club, Salisbury Inter, Adelaide Atletico, Adelaide Titans, Garn Kilburn, Barossa United, and Plimpton Bulldogs. I think there was one of them, maybe it was in the last podcast that we talked about, that was possibly going to get in this, which was Salisbury Inter, especially with their new upgrades of facilities and with their affiliation with the women's team, and the footballers say that it was just a relationship that was going to continue. A couple of other interesting ones there as well for me. I think Barossa United and Plimpton Bulldogs, I mean, they've had a bit of a journey in the juniors, I remember as well. I think I used to play against Plimpton Bulldogs a few times. Elizabeth Grove as well got that connection with the women's team now, but there's a couple of amateur teams like Adelaide Titans, Garn Kilburn, Adelaide Atletico, which are really going to try and have a push in this league, and we're going to see how it might have to work. I mean, if it means that all 6 of them come in, and all 7 of them, come in, and we get some extra games, then I'm not complaining. But I don't know, maybe they have to figure out a way to even up the 3 leagues in some point in the future.
We're going to take bets on who gets accepted or not. Or do we have an opinion on who's going to come in?
I was going to say,
that's more the question.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, at least one of them is not going to, because you can't bring 7 teams in. Odd number doesn't work. We're not having a buy.
Is it Adelaide Atletico maybe amalgamating with another club? Who knows? So that might reduce that number to 6.
Yeah, true.
I mean, Plimpton have got a great junior setup. They've had lots of juniors for many years, so they really stack up in that. My only concern was that I read the expression of interest form. No, I read the expression of interest form. When it came out, I went through it all. And one of the things was proximity to other clubs. So for me, a couple of clubs worry me in the fact that you've got Elizabeth Grove, who are very near Playford. So, and Gawler, it's actually not that far from Gawler. So there's always that bit of a worry in proximity, and same with Salisbury Inter, proximity to Salisbury as well. So is that going to play a part in what they look at taking on or not? I mean, Salisbury Inter obviously have the background with the women's doing so well. So that probably bodes well in their favour, even having a proximity to Salisbury and effectively Playford as well, because obviously that area is not Salisbury, Playford is all relatively close when you look at it. So it'd be interesting to see how they determine which clubs are suitable.
Yeah, even Garn Kilburn, I'm pretty sure they're near Olympic as well. I think they've got that old training site that Olympic had, the one that's in
Ferryden Park. Yep.
Yeah.
So again, and that's exactly right. The proximity. I would have said they played at Kilburn. Maybe they'll ground share with West Adelaide. But no,
imagine saying that a year ago.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have. No one would have said that a year ago. But that's what I'm saying. It was, as part of the thing was proximity to other clubs. So it'd be interesting to see how they determine who will come in, or if any of them come in, and things like that. But the good thing is there's at least 7 clubs that have thrown their name in the ring, which is great for the football, great for the leagues in the federation side of the setup.
I think one thing, or maybe even 2 things that stand out to me most is I'm pretty sure that all of these teams, they're all Sassel clubs, but none of them are actually first division Sassel clubs. I'm pretty sure. I think at most is maybe Div 2 with I think Salisbury Inter, maybe Div 2 Sunday. Barossa are pretty low down, which I think is Garn Kilburn is sort of teetering with Sunday Div 1 and Sunday Div 2. And a lot of the clubs, I think majority of those are at least north of the city, I think. None
south. Adelaide Titans would be the closest one south, I think. But the majority is not. They're all north.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts? Any final clubs? Any places, Alessio, you might be interested in going to? I know there's at Barossa. There's a caravan park right next door, so you can go stay there
Yeah.
for the night when you play there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even mind the more away trips, the better. I mean, I think the one I saw was that when they're in the junior league, they had to forfeit some games, but some of the teams that went up to play them, they actually spent a night in accommodation there as well. So
I know
wouldn't
I
mind that,
did.
but otherwise, yeah, the more the merrier. I mean, I've never seen some of these grounds like Salisbury Interground. I don't think I've seen Elizabeth Grove neither. Adelaide Atletico, I don't think so. Titans, no, but even it'd be interesting to see that even if they're not in there directly next year, maybe we'll find some of them in the cup and might get a little precursor into how they'll go.
Absolutely, very, very exciting. Looking forward to some possible new teams joining us. We'll go on to the week's fixtures, as we always do. A very, very exciting week in which that we had. Oh. What's that about? What's that about? Oh, someone's joining us from his holiday. Hello, David.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Tell me you can hear me. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
what relief. How are we?
Where are you? Where are you?
Salamat Malam. Salamat Malam. Abakabar.
And so he looks like he's
What's
on
that
the beach.
music? Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Salamat Malam. Salamat Malam. Abakabar. How's your Indonesian?
No.
You guys ready for my pick of the week?
Doesn't say it's about as good as my Croatian.
Salamat Malam means good evening, and Abakabar means how are you? And
Oh, I thought
the
you
locals
were-
love
I
it when
thought
you.
were saying,
That's the
I
name of
thought
the
you were
place.
saying where you were and the bar, and you were at
Yeah.
the bar, not anywhere else.
No, Salamat Malam, good evening, and Abakabar, how are you? And the locals love it when you do that.
Well, David.
Do you want my? Are you ready for my?
Yeah,
Are you ready for my pick?
What is your? Yeah, go on.
My new favourite team is Bali United, and we had a massive win on Friday night against Persela Jakarta, 3-0. And my new favourite player, Brandon, I know I was going to forget his name. No, I couldn't. No. We were going to go actually, and then I got speaking to one of the locals, and she said, "Oh, be very careful. The ground will be very busy. Hold on to your valuables, all of that sort of stuff." And I thought, "Oh, we'll just leave it." But in the end, actually, there's lots of women and kids there. There's the ground was actually half empty, and it was quite a good game. And Bali United sit bottom of a group of 4. It must be. It was
Very,
good.
very well.
They like the football.
Yeah.
Actually, there's quite a few of them sitting in the street. You'll see them sitting in the street watching their football. It's just the Australians that are paying the arse.
Well, we won't.
With their Aussie rules and their rugby league.
We won't keep you long, David. We'll let you enjoy what is left of your holiday. And yes, we'll see you back soon. Are you back this weekend on games?
Yes, I am. Got Para Hills Nights in Campbelltown on Friday night. So that's my first game back. Looking forward to it. No.
Saturday.
Must be Saturday night. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Too much spend time.
All right, we'll let you be. We'll let you enjoy what you have left of your holiday, David, and we're happy to see you back soon in your familiar surroundings.
Aye, okay, no bother. Have a good one, fellas. Missed you.
Will do. Miss you too, Dave.
See you, mate.
I miss you all. Kim said you can all come with us next time.
If you guys are paying, I'm more than happy to go.
She's very happy about me doing this. So, all right.
We'll see you soon, David.
See you later.
Yeah.
See you, mate.
How fun! How fun! On to the week's fixtures, and we'll start with I guess last night. in the Australia Cup, Campbelltown playing against Moreton City Excelsior. Not the day I don't think Campbelltown fans or anybody from South Australia would have hoped for. It just didn't seem to really go right for them in the end.
No, it certainly didn't. Admittedly, I love the kit that Moreton Town
Oh,
play in.
absolutely. It is big.
Like that. That's just class. I loved it. But look, yeah, not the best of nights for Campbelltown. I mean, they conceded 5. Oh, I thought they would have been a bit closer. It was funny actually because I missed the first half. So I watched all the second half, but I missed the first half, and it was interesting. The commentators were absolutely destroying Campbelltown. They're going, they're not at the races, they're not at this, they're not at this. And I looked at the stats at half time, and it was interesting because Campbelltown had more possession, more passes, more entries into the final third, more shots on target, and yet they weren't even in the game, according to the commentators. I was like, well, okay, this is interesting. So I watched the second half, and they certainly were. Second half was just, they weren't in the game at all. Like they just, unfortunately, were torn apart, and it just wasn't their night really. So hopefully they can turn this result into a positive coming into the rest of the season for them, and finish off the season with good fortunes, and move on to the cup next year. Really, for them, it's all they can do now.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to some of the players as well after the game, and even this morning, and they said they were really surprised about this Moreton Bay's team, that they didn't expect it to be so sharp and the attackers to be so good. But some of the goals were just, besides like this one and probably the first one, the set piece. I mean, the deflection of Connor Centofanti, and then I think the last goal was a cross-come shot. They just were quite unlucky most of the night. I didn't get to watch the game live. I had training, but from the players that I talked to, they were really disappointed, and they knew it was a poor performance as well. A couple of the players, they said it was just not good enough, and it was unfortunate to do that on the big stage. But they've got a few more weeks and a few more big games to come this season if they have anything to do with it. At least it wasn't in front of their home supporters as well. There's a couple that travelled, but it just seemed like that the Moreton Bay team were just on fire up front and just too hard to deal with, especially the striker they had as well.
Yeah, Marquez Walters was their striker, who just seemed to have a very good game that day. Going on to your point before, Mark, about how you said Campbelltown were in it, but the stats sort of said against. I feel like the first 15, 20 minutes, they played it all right, but I think Moreton City really just pressed them. Quite harshly, they pressed them. And with that press in that opening first half an hour, I think that killed them early on, because I don't think, like we said, I think even with us, out of the 3 South Aussie teams to be in the round of 32, this was probably the one we were most confident in, to be completely honest.
Yeah, and we were when we did predictions and things like that. We were like, Campbelltown are within a great shout to take the win. But like I said, I missed the first half, so it was purely just based on stats that I from the first half that I saw. But watching the second half, they just really weren't there, and they tried hard, but effectively that was it. I mean, that's the goal scorer for Moreton Town. They scored 2 goals. He's actually the leading goal scorer of the league. As well. So he had form. I think he's double digits for the season, great form. And to be honest, if I'd have known they were playing in that kit, I would have actually picked them to win. So just based on the kit, seriously. So it's like I said, Campbelltown unfortunate. Now just got to rebuild and move on with their league form, and hopefully they can get something out of this. And obviously they've got finals coming up, so they'll just have to work towards that, really.
Absolutely, and we'll probably keep looking over, as I think we've all got a screen open with the Adelaide United game on. They're still 1-0 up at halftime against Blacktown City. Just seeing some of the halftime results as well. Newcastle Jets are up as well. So, well, I mean, we might as well look at, I guess, the majority of the cup. Newcastle 2-1 up against Rockdale Illingdon. Western Sydney 2-0 up against Brisbane City. And of course, Adelaide United game 1-0, and then Perth Red Star playing Lions FC at 8 o'clock. So what's that, in a minute's time, actually. Yep. So that game will start soon. And then, of course, we got more games next week. Mod Breeze 1. We'll probably talk about that more at the end. But that's pretty much it for the cup. So until we go into next week, I guess our main thing hoping is that Modbreen United get through and we get a home game.
Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Home games are always fun when they come down our way. Another great game that happened over the weekend with the WMPL WSL Cup final. Quite
have surprised with their
quite an extraordinary start, with both West Adelaide and Sturt Lions playing in that one. A big shock, I think. Sturt Lions went up first, really. Nini Yamada having a good game. It was a good crowd there on the day, but West Adelaide just too strong in the end, Alessio.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a great start to a game as well. I'm lucky I switched on for the start of the first half because it just all happened in the opening 25 minutes. And really, I mean, these imports that Sturt Lions picked up have been absolute gems for them this season. That first goal was just unbelievable to do in a grand final in the box, to have that composure to take it past 2-3 and then the keeper. And they kept the momentum up in the first half, Sturt Lions. In the second half, I didn't actually get to see the second half too well, but from the highlights that I saw, it looked like a couple of subs from the West Adelaide team really came to the fore and really provided that extra attack for them. But for Sturt Lions, I mean, I said it on, I think, Johnny's show this week, to do this after last year and after the start they had this year, it's only up for here for them. I mean, there's not many promoted sides that even make the finals in the Women's League at least, or even make it very far in the cup. They're just too focused on the league and how difficult that is. But for a team like Sturt to go all this way and provide such an event and occasion as well, I mean, a lot of people probably would expect them to get beaten heavily or something in the final, but obviously with West Adelaide having a few outs as well, probably led them to get into the game a bit more, Sturt Lions. But I mean, as we said after the game as well, they were in as high spirits as you can after a cup final loss, and they've just got more to play for now. I mean, they're probably a bit too far away to make finals, but they've got a couple games, and your only objective is now just get the points to stay up and see what you can do to finish the season off, which is more you can say than a couple of other teams in the league at the moment.
Mark, of course, we saw Sturt Lions go up 1-0 and they fought back quite reasonably. And as Alessio said, it was either we expected this game to be a blowout or for it to be quite a tight one. And I think this is good for Sturt going in towards the rest of the season as well. They've got some tough games, but I honestly think they'll stay up as well.
Yeah, look, I picked West Adelaide to win. I think this 3-0, to be honest. I just thought the West Adelaide side sitting top of the table, Sturt been struggling obviously all year. I honestly thought it was just going to be not a whitewash or a walkover, but a tough game for Sturt to get anything out of. And to be honest, at 2-2, I mean, Sturt really gave them a run for their money. I mean, Sturt are probably hard done by. I mean, they've got to the final, sitting where they are in the league as well. You just think, oh, yeah, like I said, West Adelaide, easy win. But if Sturt can take that confidence and that form into the rest of the season, I tell you what, they'll stay up. There's no two ways about it. I think that they've shown everyone that they can do it. They've now just got to make sure they can do it consistently week in, week out for the remainder of the season. But they can take so much out of this game to be able to push West Adelaide to a 2-2 at one stage. And yeah, like I said, mate, it's not everyone gets to play in a cup final. So I think they can take so much out of this game, and like I said, take it into the rest of the season. And with that, because of that, they'll probably stay up. So I actually think they will now. I mean, at one stage you thought, geez, they're going to struggle to stay up, but now you're sort of looking, going, nah, they're going to stay up.
Absolutely, and I think it's probably the first time all season where I've seen a West Adelaide bench be visibly and audibly frustrated, and this was against Sturt out of all teams as well, which I thought was quite amusing and quite interesting. That this was, I know it's a cup final still, but it just shows you how well Sturt were set up in the end for this cup final to really, and they didn't. It's not like they just sat back and defended either. They really went for it as well at times.
Yeah, and that's testament to the coaching staff as well, going, okay, analysing what West Adelaide do and setting up to counteract what they do. So we know that the games are filmed. They've either got a VO or all the games that obviously for the WNPL are filmed. So they would be able to get eyes on those games, see what they're doing, work out their strategies, the way they play, and Frank would take that into consideration and work out how we can counteract that to get something out of the game. And like I said, I think they probably got a lot out of the game. Admittedly, they didn't win, but they still take so many positives out of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, from when I saw most of the squad, they were actually, of course, they were disappointed, but they're actually quite happy just to sort of be at this point where it wasn't even they got thrashed in the final. They made a good account of themselves. That, of course, they were happy to make it. They would have loved to have won it, but I think they were just more happy that they, trying to think of us, they didn't make a fool of themselves. They show that they can be there.
Yeah, that's the thing. They put up a fight. They showed that they deserve to be there for their cup run. So there's no two ways about it. They didn't embarrass themselves at all by any stretch of the imagination. They went out there and fought hard. And again, like I said, I mean, going down to the top side in the cup final is not a bad thing. Sometimes you just go, well, you know what? We came in as complete and utter underdogs, and they gave it everything they had. So not a bad result in the end.
Absolutely. And of course, congratulations to West Adelaide on winning the cup final in the end 4-2. A great game from both sides and for all to watch. On to State League 2. We'll go through the results for round 20. Wait, no. Wait, is it round 20? Was it round 20? Have I got this wrong?
No, that's right. No, round 20.
Yeah?
2 games to go.
Oh, no,
You're right. It's all good.
Okay, yep. Anyway, Eastern United 2-2 against Seaford. Gawler Eagles going down 2-1 to Mount Barker United. Port Adelaide losing 3-0 to Adelaide University. Pontian 4-1 over Noarlunga United. Hills Hawks losing 2-0 to the Cove FC. And Northern Demons 4-1 over Modbury Vista. As always, Alessio, we'll start with you because we can't make fun of you this week.
No, we've done the double over one team, which I don't think they've done that in a long time, Mount Barker, or if ever maybe. But it's the bottom team, so I guess you expected it. But it was more the occasion for us. I mean, celebrating our centre back Alex Metanomsky's 200th, and of course I predicted. I said the meta header on the 200th would be a great sealer, and he was the one who ended up getting the winner. Probably the easiest header we'll ever get as well. But yeah, it was such a tough game. I mean, the way it started, I don't know how that they've not won or got more points this season. I mean, they were still quite impressive on that field. I mean, in the opening few minutes, I think we had 2 clear-cut chances that we missed. Then they got a penalty, which was saved. And then they had one cleared off a line. And then we scored a fantastic goal. Our Japanese youngster, Kosi, scored a top corner goal, which now makes him our top scorer this season. And then straight after that, literally, I think our coach had a timer on the bench. A minute 30 after we scored, we conceded. Took it into the second half. We made a couple of changes with a couple of injured players. With the right back, Kale, he had a hamstring injury, so he couldn't last more than a half. And then I think a player that Mark knows as well, Cam Mazigula as well, who played at Seaford and a couple of places down that way. He's been dealing with a broken toe for the last few weeks, so apparently it flared up, so he had to come off. So we made 2 subs at halftime. Little tactical change as well with some of the players in the formation. But in the second half, there was at least 3, 4, 5 chances that we should have scored. I had one from a corner. I think they had a couple as well. I think they had a post, and maybe one just sailed over the bar as well in a volley. But otherwise, after we got that second goal, I mean, we parked up shop pretty well and knew that we could hold on, had the fresh subs as well to bring on, and yeah, ultimately got the result and secured our spot as at least 10th this season, which is a slight improvement from last year. But with 2 games to go, and I think we're still maybe only 3 points away from Port Adelaide Pirates, and we play them in the last game, so could even get a bit better than this as well. But all in all, the win's the win, and that's all we care about. And yeah, it was good to see that we could finally hold on from a winning position this time as well.
Absolutely. Mark, on to you. What other games caught your eye?
Well, where do we start? So I caught the back end of the Eastern United Seaford game. I tuned into that on Friday night because I was jumping between that and the Bacala game and Playford game. So I caught the back end of the Seaford game. It was quite interesting. The result was showing 2-0 on the scoreboard, and it was 2-2. So when the final whistle went, I was trying to work out who won because neither team was celebrating. So it turns out that it was 2-2, and the broadcast hadn't updated the score, but just fine. Yeah. But overall, like what I saw of the game towards the back end, it was a pretty open game. I can't say too much the start of it, but I think Seaford would have certainly been the happiest side out the two to come away with a draw. And one of the goals actually said, I have to tell Johnny in his podcast to put in for a goal of the year.
Yeah, I told him
contender.
as well. The Seaford one, yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, the Eastern.
Mid-
I think it was one of the Eastern goals as well.
I was going to give that
but yeah.
the Mitch Hennekins one for Seaford.
Also, by the
Yeah.
way, they've got two camera angles over at Eastern United. I've just seen.
Yes. Yep.
I
They
think
do,
it's
yes.
just for the highlights though, not for the in-game. I'm pretty sure.
That's fair enough though. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
And it
Anyway.
looks like it's only behind that goal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just down one end. So yeah. So like I said, pretty towards the end of it was a pretty open game. That was a great save there from Tate. Just give him a shout out. It's a great save there. So, but yeah, look, like I said, a pretty open game. Both teams having chances, and
By
like I
the
said,
end
I
of it,
think
though, I don't know how Eastern didn't win it. I mean, if you look at some of the
Yeah.
chances and some of the interesting assistant referee calls as well, I don't know how some of them were onside, but there was definitely a few where there was 2, 3, 4 guys in the box, and the guy opted to shoot first time, and he just skied it a couple times. So they definitely should have won that Eastern, in my opinion.
yeah, like I said, Seaford definitely the team coming out that better than Eastern, obviously, with Eastern trying to fight for that top 6 spot. I think Seaford are fighting for it, but whether or not they manage to keep it's another story. But are still there at the end. But like I said, I think Seaford will happily take a point away from home against someone that's relatively close to them in the league. So that game, like I said, I managed to catch the back end of that game.
And I'm trying to find this goal. Is this the goal? What were we looking for? Was it the first or the second?
Yeah,
goal?
No, it's the second goal. So this one was, I don't know how it even went through the keeper.
Yeah,
but
managed to sneak that. I think that actually went through his legs and just trickle off the back heel.
here it is.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is it. Yeah,
and
So
the
great
back
finish,
angle. This is the
like-
best one.
yeah, yeah. So that's going to go into Keko's. So give a shout out to Kicking It Local and Johnny Keko there, but that's definitely one for his goal of the year shout.
Mhm.
I think the other one, obviously, Adelaide Uni beating Port Adelaide 3-0. I keep saying this. I don't know what Port Adelaide side's going to rock up each week at the moment. Very inconsistent, but they've certainly not been good of late. I think they've lost 4 or 5 on the trot now. But Adelaide Uni getting that win needed with Pontian Eagles beating Noarlunga 4-1. Again, expecting Pontians to beat Noarlunga at their own ground, at Pontian's ground. They're having a great season there. The other game that stood out was the Northern Demons, Mowbray Vista. I think we all picked Mowbray Vista to win that, but Northern Demons with a 4-1 victory. It's a big win considering where they are in the table and the way Vista have been playing lately. You would expect that to be either a lot closer or, like I said, I thought Vista would win, but that's a big win for the Demons there to take out 4-1 up there. I think I can't remember who I pick in the end these days. My memory doesn't go back that far, so that's where Alessio comes in when he writes them down. But yeah. And obviously the other result I haven't covered was the Cove beating Adelaide Hills Hawks, which is keeping it so tight at the top of that table. Cove are in third, but not far behind the top 2 now. So State League 2 is getting very tight, which is great. I think it's excellent. I mean, it's 3 points from Pontians to Cove for first and third. Adelaide Uni is still there at 47. So the top 3 sides, it's quite close, quite a good battle. And quite an interesting weekend coming up because Pontians have got my boy there, Alessio's team. So
Don't talk
Alessio
about
could
it. Don't talk about it.
So-
He doesn't want to be reminded of last time.
It could be interesting. Uni have got Hawk, which we'll cover later, obviously, in the show. Uni have got Hawks, Cova got Seaford. So some very interesting games coming up for that league. And like I said, it's getting ever so tight at the top. And like I said, that game with Eastern and Seaford, there's only 2 points between 6th and 7th. So, yeah, very, very close there at the moment.
Absolutely. Just looking at that table for ourselves, Pontian top on 49 points, just in front of Adelaide Uni by 2 on 47, and then Cove only 1 point behind on 46. Mowbray Vista behind them have got an 8-point gap between those two. Then Northern Demons and Eastern United round out that top 6. Going towards the bottom of the table, Gawler Eagles in 12th with 7 points, Hills Hawks on 12, Mount Barker on 19, Port Adelaide on 22, and Noarlunga and Seaford on 23 and 25 in 8th and 7th spot, respectively. Very much a tight final 2 rounds expected in State League 2. On to State League 1. We had that Friday night game between West Torrens, Burkalla and Playford ending 2-1 the way of the home side at Jack Smith Park. Western Strikers losing 7-1 to Blue Eagles. Of course, Western Strikers already relegated. Cumberland winning 1-0 against Adelaide Cobras. West Adelaide a 1-0 win over Fulham United. Salisbury United losing 2-1 against Sturt Lions at home. And then Vipers beating an already relegated Adelaide Victory 3-1 at Apex. What ones stood out for you here? State League 1's quite an interesting table as it is at the moment.
I'll quickly jump in. The Blue Eagles Western Strikers game. Western Strikers weren't relegated until after that game. That result did confirm that they were relegated. So, not the best way for them to bow out, unfortunately, for Strikers. But 7-1 victory for Blue Eagles. Like I said, not the best way for Western Strikers, but it was pretty much all one-way traffic, really. So, I mean, scoring in the 15th, and then it was a pretty consistent result from there for Blue Eagles. I don't even think Dante played this game either, which is a bit of a worry for the other teams in the fact that they've scored 7 without their best striker. I mean, they've got De Silva obviously still, but you've got Dante's the captain and top goal scorer not playing. Bit of a worry that he's still to come back into the side. So, that one obviously stood out a bit for me. And the other one I actually caught the back end of the Vipers Adelaide Victory game as I was down there at Apex Football Stadium. Vipers were comfortable. Victory did make it 2-1, I think it was. And then Vipers scored late again to make it 3-1. But again, Victory already relegated. So they're playing for pride at the present moment. And
hat-trick as well for Candeloro.
Yeah, hat-trick as well. Beautifully taken goal there.
The second goal, he ran through the whole team as well.
Yeah, I was going to say I had a bit of a field day. But, it's one of those things, like I said, Victory playing for pride. And unfortunately, Vipers just the better side. We know that Victory have lost a few players in the mid-season transfer window, which never helps. But, Victory are going to have to rebuild for next year. Or, like I said, who knows what's going to happen there, and we'll see what happens. But they're going to have to rebuild. And the other thing was, just going back to Strikers there, I actually was chatting with their chairman the other day, and he said that, yes, they've gone down, not great, but they're ready to do a bit of a rebuild. They'll need to do a bit of a rebuild in State League 2. But he said off the field, they're in a really good position, which if you've got the rest of the club in a really good position off the field, then eventually that will transfer to on the pitch, which hopefully bode well for them in the next few years.
Yes, the other games I'd probably just talk about was obviously the Playford Burkalla one, which I was boundary on. And it was probably a game that most people had expected Playford and their goal-scoring feats to just keep continuing that. But what a start it was for Burkalla and their new signing, Soy Sakani.
Whose notes is this?
I think it must be Shane's.
I reckon, yeah.
But yeah, Soy Sakani, I mean, star of the show, 2 fantastic assists. Threaded this one through. It looks like it could be offside, but somehow found Scambiatera, who's the whole Burkalla team. I mean, they've got goal scorers everywhere at the moment. Scambiatera, Malad, Ethan Stevenson as well, getting quite a few. Soy's getting a few. Devereaux's getting a few. So they got goals from everywhere, Bacala. And what the main thing I noticed on the night was the way that Playford play probably doesn't suit an artificial pitch too well. They kept just trying to play long and win for seconds and use their body and try and like park up against somebody and get a flick on. So it probably works on a grass pitch and a home pitch for sure. But on a game on artificial, Bacala was just all over them the whole night. I mean, even after the first half going in 1-1, it's probably disappointing for Bacala. And Penendus missed probably a couple chances as well. He would have put away on another day. But for the whole majority of the game, I mean, Bacala were just on top, keeping the ball well. And from what I noticed as well, they've just got the right mix at the moment. They've got a couple of youngsters in the team, Milad Ahmad. They've got the young Boris Glushkov as well at right fullback. And the rest of them, there's a couple of seasoned pros in that team as well. Now you got Costa Mantis to come back. You got Charlie Devereaux's been around the NPL a long time. Adam D'Agostino, who came off with an injury, but he's a youngster still as well. So they just got the right mix at the moment, I reckon, compared to Playford, who they've probably got a lot of older players at the moment that know how to do it in State League One. But if they're going to go up, you need a mix that's going to perfect that. The other game, obviously, was the Sturt versus Salisbury game, which a lot of us actually predicted either a draw or a Salisbury win. But Sturt Lions, it was a hit and run kind of a performance. I remember talking to some of their players, and they said that it sounded like our game at Gawler was pretty similar to their game at Salisbury. I mean, the pitch is probably a little bit better condition at Salisbury, but it just seemed like, a couple of crosses and goals. That was a fantastic ball from Moroni. I told him as well later in the day that's back to prime Moroni when he used to put him in at Adelaide United every time on that right side. But yeah, Salisbury got a goal back in here by none else than Matt Taylor, who extends his lead as the top scorer in the State League One as well. Dante obviously only came off the bench for Blue Eagles this week, so he couldn't try and claw any goals back on Matt Taylor at the moment. But the result, of course, was the win for Sturt, who on their page as well, Salisbury said that Sturt were their bogey team, which is an interesting one to hear. Matt Gatson obviously was at Sturt Lions as a reserve coach in the past, but I also do remember I was on trial at Salisbury once, and we played against Sturt Lions when they were in the NPL and Salisbury in State League 2, and we actually beat them. So I don't know what he's talking about being a bogey team, but maybe in actual competition, there might be a bogey team. What else is there? The Cumberland game versus Cobras. A few of us had Cobras to win that at home, but it looked like a very poor mistake from the Cobras centre-back who led it into Harley Jep to round the keeper and him to put that 1-0 ahead. So, yeah, bad back pass, took around the keeper, and seemed like that was all. I didn't watch any of the highlights or any of the extended live stream for that, but Cumberland just seemed to be going on their merry way. I think they're going to be a difficult team to play in finals as well. I would say they're a team that's got the right mix as well. They've got the older heads. You can see there, Visconti, Jep, Munro, and they've got a couple of youngsters as well. And in Abdullahi, they've obviously got as well Redmond in the midfield who scores some bangers as well. And a couple of other players, obviously, they played against United in the midweek as well, who featured some of their younger players as well. So I think is there one more game? Oh, West Adelaide?
West Adelaide.
Yeah, Yeah, so they seem to be doing quite well at their home ground at the moment. I think they're undefeated at this stage. And it even looks like their reserves are trying to get in some wins as well. And I think one thing to note as well is how many penalties they're getting, which is quite interesting. But I'm sure if you're their taker at the moment, which is Peter Katsambas, he's not worrying about that. And I think he might have even taken over the top scorers from George Katsianis, who I'm sure is pretty disappointed he's not on the pitch for those penalties anymore. But they're getting the goals, West Adelaide, getting the wins. But unfortunately, they're losing another coach again. So I'm not sure how that will impact them for the last few games getting into finals. If they make it there as well, there might be a bit of a fortress there at Kilburn. But otherwise, I think Fulham United, they had a lot of promise at the start of this year, but it seems like they've fallen away when it really mattered. And by the time that the table shows itself, it looks like they're probably in 8th or 9th even at this stage. So unless they get some results, 8th at the moment. Yeah, unless they get some results, I think they're going to find it hard.
Yeah, they've just been inconsistent. I'm right there with you. They started off really well, but it's just the little bit of inconsistency came in, and it's you look at their last 5 games and you can see it. Same with Sturt. So a bit of just inconsistencies across the board in West Adelaide. So very interesting league at the moment. I mean, you look at it, 5, 6, and 7 all on 29 points.
I was going to
But
say,
they're all
looking
fighting
at
for that.
basically everybody except the teams who are relegated are still in contention for finals.
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody
pretty much.
except Strikers and Victory, Vipers, West Adelaide, Fulham, Sturt, they're all still able.
Yep.
And it's just between really Cumberland, Blue Eagles, Burkalla, and Playford for that top spot.
Yeah,
to go
look,
straight up.
look. To be honest, Cumberland and Blue Eagles. I think, to be honest, the top spots between Playford and Burkalla. I can't see them both losing. I can't see Playford and Burkalla losing both games in the last 2 weeks. And Blue Eagles and Cumbie, they may win both their games, but I just can't see Playford and Burks losing both their games. So for me, it's between Playford and Burks, and then obviously. Adelaide Blue Eagles and Cumberland. I think Cumberland being a surprise package this year. I didn't think they'd be this good. I thought they might make finals. I can't remember what I picked for this league, but they've just been quietly going about their business, as you said, Alessio, just quietly going about their business, staying under the radar. But, I mean, they're sitting 4th, 35 points. Same with Blue Eagles, who, as we know, had that blip and really dropped off. So it's I tell you what I love the State League one because they always say it's the hardest league. It's once you're in there, it's one of the hardest leagues to get out if you drop down. But when you get up, it's the hardest league to stay in. So it's just one of those leagues. It's great to play in because you just never know what's going to happen.
I don't know if it's great to play as a keeper, though. All the goals that are conceding at the moment, all these teams. But if you're in a good team, then maybe it'll be good.
I was just saying as well,
exactly.
with only 2 rounds to go, if Playford only, say, get like a 1-0 win against Salisbury and Burkalla defeat Fulham 3 or 4-0, that final round could go down to more than just goal difference. So really, they're quite tight, even in terms of goal difference. So very, very.
I think one of them has to play Adelaide Victory as well in their last games, or Western Strikers as well. So I think I'm not sure. We've obviously got all those games covered as well as commentators. The last games of the State League 1. So whoever's got, I think, the Adelaide Victory Playford game maybe. Is going to have an interesting one if they're going to count the goal difference.
Let's have a look. In the last round, I'll just go through. I've got round 22 fixtures here. So Burkalla have got Vipers, Cumberland have got Blue Eagles, West Adelaide have got Victory, Salisbury have Fulham, Strikers have Playford, Cobras have Sturt. That's round 22. So we're getting a week ahead, but depending on what happens this week, so that week could have quite an interesting effect in the fact that obviously you got Cobras and Sturt, who both are currently 6 and 7, playing against each other, fighting for that last final spot. So it's such a, like I said, great league to be involved with, State League 1, because you just never know what's going to happen. So tight,
especially in the final day of the season as well. That's what you want as a fan as well. Watching all those games that actually mean something for every single game. So
I also can't wait for us to be on commentary and just sort of trying to figure out what the hell's actually going on with the results in real time. Just being like, so I think no,
yes,
Burkalla promoted, no, but Sturt a final, something like that.
All of us on Football 24 just looking at the live score and live ladder, and live goal difference, and messaging in there who scored.
Cannot wait for that final round. Onto the men's MPL for round 20. Metro beating South Adelaide 3-1 in what was a home game for South Adelaide at TK Shelter Reserve. Adelaide Croatia Raiders going 1-0 down to Campbelltown City. Adelaide Comets 4-2 over Adelaide United. City winning 4-0 over Croydon. Beergrad beating Mulberry Jets 3-1. And Adelaide Olympic 2-1 over Para Hills Knights.
Where do you want to start?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start, boys? What game were you on, Seb? We'll start with you. What game were you on?
Where was I? I was at Adelaide City. I was at Adelaide City for Adelaide City.
We're going to start with your game.
Yeah, I was there in what was the wet in the end. The first goal was a bit of a goalkeeping mistake from Tumbika Kalua. Croydon just never looked to really be in this one, to be completely honest. Adelaide City sort of just did their thing for most of the game.
Set pieces.
Absolutely. This header from Matt Dorber was excellent. and just before halftime as well was pretty crucial for them. And then the third goal again was a set piece directly from Nicholas Bucco after Croydon had Bulmer Paw sent off, which I thought was a bit silly to be making that challenge. I reckon, judging from what I'd saw him in the game, he probably could have at least tried and beat him for pace. So I thought it was a bit of an unnecessary red card, and then turning out to be what was an unnecessary goal for Croydon to concede. But Bucco doing what he does as per normal, so nothing too different there. But other than that, City just sort of getting back into form and just moving on.
Is it?
and
I was just going to say, you go, Seb, because I know what you're going to say.
Score update, is that what I'm going to say?
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. So United are now 1-1 with Blacktown. Just trying to see the goal. It's a header, back post header.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even kept that out. I thought he was going to let it go out for a corner, but he's clipped the back post. Delinov must have thought he was going to go as well because he stayed at the near post. And Travis Major for Blacktown, he's a club legend as well. But they're getting right back into this game now, Blacktown as well. But looking at the highlights we've got in front of us as well, the MPL as well. Another one of my good friends, Massimo Falco. I think that's about 2 or 3 in a couple of weeks as well for Beograd. And this was probably the surprise of the round. Beograd beating top of the league Modbury Jets. And it was, even I think that for the Beograd players, they were really surprised at how well they played. And they could have had a few more as well. There's a bit of an interesting penalty to put them 2-1 ahead here. This is on Trimboli. I can't even tell that I think it's Kimitsi who actually fouled him, even knew that he was tangled up with him. But, I mean, they got the win there, smash and grab for Beograd. You look at their next goal after this was a deflection as well. And Ninko Beric, after coming on about a minute or two earlier, just gets a tap in from close range. So he wouldn't have had thought of he coming on to such a good game at that stage. But other than that, I think the other games around the grounds, there was obviously, we talk about that Bucco free kick being one of the goals of the week contenders. But I'm sure you'll see after this that the Campbelltown versus Adelaide Croatia Raiders game, Alex Mullen with an unbelievable finish.
Unreal goal for Mullen. But just quickly, was Bucco's free kick in the goal of the week?
Yeah, I believe so.
It was? Okay.
For the next one,
cool.
yeah. I think
there was only 3 goals in there, I think, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. It was Bucco.
Yeah. Mullen.
And 2 others. I didn't do it this week.
Oh,
I didn't do it this week.
Do you know what? This is what I wanted to discuss before was the Bucco free kick, right? So we just go Bucco doing Bucco things. It's just become the norm where we just refer to him just scoring an absolute free kick, like an absolute worldie. You know what I mean? Like it's just got to the point where, and we just we did it. Like that was a cracking free kick, just quietly, and yet we just refer it to as Bucco doing Bucco things.
Well, I think one of my lines I used in commentary was, he's a man of many talents. If he's not scoring or assisting goals, he's either probably selling you a house. So,
well, it's funny because I've got to give him a shout out because he helped me out on the weekend. I reached out to him on the weekend for something, and he's sorted me out, but just for some tickets for something. But it was funny because I messaged him and said, "Hey," I said, "Like, did you guys was this your plan all along for City? Was to give everyone a head start and then just see if you could catch them all? Like they won 2 games, lost 7 on the trot, and now they're undefeated, like almost undefeated in their last 8 or 9. But it's like, did you plan that? Was that like, well, we seem to do so well every year. Should we just give everyone a chance and then come back? Like I was like, you know what I mean? And now they're pushing 3rd spot or whatever it is, and you're just like, this is mental. Like the turnaround's just been incredible for them. So that's all I want to say on that one.
Yeah, I think what other games were there? The Comets versus United game as well. That was a bit of a back and forth. I mean, Adelaide United, were they 2-0 up at one stage?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
So 2-0 up, and some of the goals for Adelaide Comets were fantastic. I mean, the header from Garrido was probably one of the stars I liked in the goals. Obviously, Lani Tatu scored early on here, but that was some composure as well from Ryan White, who's obviously playing in tonight's game.
Actually, just made his first team debut as well, by the way. So congratulations to him as well. Just made his debut in the cup for Adelaide United.
Yeah, so that was big for him, but it looked like Comets just their crosses and set pieces. I mean, that's an unbelievable header from Garrido. He's actually not the tallest of guys as well, so to see him get on the end of that, and he's probably somebody who we expected to be probably a top scorer in the NPL. So he's getting a few near the end now, but I'm not even sure who's the top scorer in the NPL at the moment.
Nagamatsu still is top goal scorer. I liked Labaso's second goal. He drove through from the midfield and then just picked his spot and curled a nice finish. This might be it here, actually. No, it's not this one. But again, not a bad finish there from Garrido. Again, I think Nagamatsu's still sitting on top with about 15 goals, I think it is. So
Yeah, and Andre Kyle just behind.
Yeah, I think he's on 13 or 13, I think. But he's not going to, unfortunately, get much more. He's out for the season. But here's the Labaso guy that I was just talking about. Just drives into the position and beautiful curl into the far post. So, but yeah, what a great turnaround for Comets to come back and win that 4-2 after being down 2-0. So, but great for them going into the last few games of the season with trying to get some form before finals, really. And penalty there as well.
Missed penalty for White as well, yeah.
Yeah. Was it a miss or was it a save?
I think it's a save, but
of course it's a save. It's never a miss. Man. If the keeper saves it, it's a save. It's not a miss.
Unless
the keeper saves it, it's not a miss.
Really soft one, then I would say it's.
So it doesn't matter if the keeper gets a hand on it, and keeps it out, then the keeper saves it. It's not a miss. It's a save. Simple as that. Come on. Jeez.
What else
I support my keepers. All right, mate. Goalkeeper union. We look after each other. The Metro Stars South Adelaide game.
Yes.
This was was changed. So I was actually at the ground on Friday night with my lad training, as he trains Friday night. And the council were there shutting the ground due to complaints about the pitch. So the council now close that off, and no one's allowed to play on that at this stage. So they had to reverse. When I say reverse the fixture, that it basically was now played at TK Shadow with Metro as the away team, which surprised me. I thought they could have moved it to Seaford and kept it at least down south, as Seaford were playing away on the Saturday. They'd already played on the Friday night, and the 18s and reserves were away, so it could have moved to a southern venue, but the Federation decided to move it to TK, and there's Ren getting on the score sheet again. But yeah, like I said, South Adelaide playing for pride at the moment these days, and just trying to disrupt the top six really. So unfortunate for South, but it's what it is now these days at the moment with them already relegated. So not much more you can really say, unfortunately for South. But Metro just going top of I think they've gone top of the table with this win. They've gone 2 points clear of Modbury. So 2 games to go. It's really brought the league into a real tight battle, which it has been for most of the season. Modbury have been on top for a few weeks, but it has changed hands throughout the year quite a bit. So it's been one of those seasons where we had Metro sitting top for a few weeks. We'd have Modbury for a few weeks. I think Campbelltown early on, Comets early on. So bit of a obviously it hasn't been one team just running away with it. The other game for me, I covered the Olympic Para Hills game. So I was there Apex on Saturday night, calling the Olympic Para Hills game, which turned out to be quite an exciting game in the end. It had its moments where it was a little bit lax at times, but Olympic took the lead there. It was given as I think it got given as a Benvenuto goal, but it was, they've given it to James Polly finally. But James Polly was the creative mastermind for Olympic. Everything that he touched was creative. Everything that he did down that left-hand side led to something good. Felix's goal, great finish there. So great overload play. That was straight after half-time. Olympic didn't know what hit him. But that was well deserved from Para Hills. They certainly started the game better in the second half. But like I said, it had its moments, and then Olympic coming up with James Polly coming up with a massive goal for Olympic, which put them 2-1 up with only obviously 10 minutes. There was about 10 minutes of time added in this game as well. 11. There you go. 11
Into
minutes
the
of time
12th minute.
added. Yeah. So, a lot of the Olympic supporters were sort of going, "Where's this whistle? Where's this whistle?" Because I was catching up with them after. They're like, "Who plays 12 minutes of time added and things like that?" But there were some injuries and some time wasting and goal celebrations. So everything was taken into account. But like I said, massive win for Olympic, which leads it to a great last 2 rounds because that puts them 1 point behind Para Hills and Raiders.
Absolutely. Just looking at the table, Metro top on 40 points, Modbury just behind by 2 on 38. Then Campbelltown and Comets, City and Beergrad finishing that top 6 for now, going towards the bottom. South Adelaide, of course, already relegated. That final spot going down to Croatia Raiders, Para Hills Knights, and Adelaide Olympic as we enter the final 2 rounds of the season. Very, very exciting. On to our predictions now. Are we ready to do? And I have been a bit more distracted. I have kept looking over at the game now. It's 1-1, so I will try and keep my attention focused. But we'll do our predictions. Are you ready to jot them down, Alessio?
I am. Yep.
Perfect. State League 2, Noarlunga versus Port Adelaide. I'm going to go for a. I'm not even looking at the screen anymore. I'm going to go for, what was it?
No longer Port. Pirates.
Yeah.
Very close on the table.
Noarlunga 2-0.
Yeah, like I said, Port Adelaide for me, I just don't know what's going to turn up at the moment. They've
Probably too
lost
late for
the
them
last.
as well.
Yeah, they've lost their last 5 games. Noarlunga still have finals to play for. They've got to get some results to go their way. Is this at Noarlunga's ground, Seb?
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, for me, I'm going to go Noarlunga 2-1 as well. Actually, I'm going to go Noarlunga 3-1.
Yeah, I think quite similar to you as well, and I hope that Noarlunga can maybe put some error in the doubt for Pirates. So they don't have anything to play for on the last game of the season. But yeah, I was going to go Noarlunga win as well. I might even go 3-0.
Uni versus Hills Hawks. I think this is Uni for me. 2-0.
You're on mute, Mark, by the way.
Yeah, sorry about that. My son just came in to tell me that it's my father-in-law's birthday. So happy birthday to my father-in-law if he's watching. I know he's not because he's on the phone to my other half. But shout out to my father-in-law, Ron. Happy birthday.
Maybe he's got two screens like us.
Yeah.
So, mate, I've got one screen. One screen's got the game on. I've got one screen with the league table, mate.
I've got 3.
This is my
I've
work.
got
This
3.
is my work setup at the moment. So
Yeah.
And so I've had been dealing with my son as well. So apologies. So what was that, Seb? Where were we?
Uni versus Hills Hawks.
Oh, yeah. Look, Adelaide Uni, I'm going to go with them getting some scoring boots on, like continuing from last week. So I'm going to go a 3-0 win for Adelaide Uni.
I'm going to go Uni 4-0.
Seaford Rangers versus Cove FC in a Southern derby. I think I'm going to Cove with this one 3-1.
I will go with Cove as well on this, just purely based on form. Seaford up and down a little bit at the moment. Cove sitting 3rd for a reason. They're still fighting for top spot as well. So for me, Cove 4-2.
What was your scoreline for that, Seb? Cove?
I think I said 3-1.
3-1. I was going to go similar 3-1 Cove.
Eastern United versus Northern Demons, a very interesting one. I'm gonna go
at
with
Eastern, Seb, on Saturday.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is. I'm gonna go with the 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go Northern Demons 3-2.
I'm going to go draw as well. I'm going to go big one, 3-3 draw.
Next is Mount Barker United versus Pontian Eagles. I'm going to go Pontian Eagles 8-1. No, I joke. I think it'll be closer this time. No, it will be closer this time. 4-0. 4-1.
Jeez.
That's closer.
Where's this at?
That's
Is this
closer.
up at your? Is this your way, Alessio, or is it?
It is, yeah.
He doesn't want to go back there.
That grass pitch,
Look.
get it out of our league.
Look.
Well, they might do
look,
if they beat you this weekend.
Yeah, you might not have to worry about it next year.
Yeah, so maybe just
look,
lose and then you don't have to play against them.
As much as I'd love to pick Mount Barker, I can't see it happening. I'm going to go with Pontians. I'm going to actually go with at home. I'm going to go. Going to go with 4-1 with Medinovsky scoring a header.
Yeah, we got another event this weekend as well. I mean, Anthony Taylor's 300th game as well. So he's been going on during the week that hopefully we're going to get a jammy 1-0 win, penalty AT, and lock it up with five at the back and 4 in the midfield. But I don't know. I think I'll probably go Pontian 3-1. I think they are very good, and if the only thing is if they can get the ball out of their defense, then they're ridiculous. I mean, I think their defense is probably the weakest part of their team, but as soon as they get out of there and play any of the front four, then it's everyone running at 6s and 7s to try and contain them. So I'll go with a 3-1, but at halftime, I'm only going to say 1 goal is being scored. So,
is this the first time that you've gone against Mount Barker?
Yeah, I think it is.
I reckon it is.
Yeah.
I reckon it's the first time you've picked them to lose.
I was going to go with a little jammy 1-0, 2-1 win, but it's just they're so good, Pontian. They are the best team we've played this year, football-wise, attacking-wise, everything. Like they just have everything. They're another team with the right mix. I mean, a lot of people, they try and try to play fancy football, try and overcomplicate it, but they're just a team that get it out of the defense, get it to the good players, they do all the rest. That's all you need. So I think they're a team that's going to go up this year, and I think they're deservedly the only team I've gone against us for this year.
Finally, Modbury Vista versus Gawler Eagles. This is Modbury for me, 3-0.
I'm going to go Modbury to find their form again this week and their goal-scoring boots and go 5-1.
They do like to score quite a few. I'm going to go 6-2.
Okay, that is State League 2. I'm very distracted by the everything. On to the WSL Elizabeth Grove versus Croydon. This one's Elizabeth Grove for me.
Yeah, Grove as well.
Yep, Grove for me.
Next is another Southern derby with Cove FC versus South Adelaide. I think Cove, my mind is completely gone at the moment. South Adelaide for me.
South Adelaide for me.
South Adelaide for me.
Okay, I'll take this slowly. Modbury Vista versus Adelaide Jaguars. I'm going to go for Modbury Vista on this one.
Yeah, they're both coming off a loss last week, actually. So, yeah, look, just purely based on position, I think Vista will get the win here.
Yeah, I'm going Vista the win as well.
Fulham United versus already promoted Campbelltown. This is Campbelltown for me.
Yep, Campbelltown.
Campbelltown as well. Undefeated season for me.
And finally, Western Strikers versus Modbury Jets. I think Jets for me on this one.
Yeah, Jets as well.
Yeah, Jets are actually 5 wins on the trot at the moment, so they're in some great. They're the only other team with a form like that is Campbelltown. So Jets for me as well.
Absolutely. Before we go on to State League One, I have been sent in a video which I haven't watched, so this could be worrying.
Oh.
From David, of course. So I imagine it's okay to watch. So let's just see what it is. Okay. I don't know. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm here with Eduardo here, and Eduardo is a podcast listener.
Yeah.
Eduardo, what's your favorite podcast?
A podcast at a time.
One game at a time?
One game at a time.
Yeah! Thanks, Eduardo.
Hang on, everybody. Hang on, everybody. One dance for you from Rosemary. Surprise. The video show tonight. Let's come and join us here. Guys, happy fun here. I want to show you something. Come on, darling. Follow with me. We have good atmosphere. Great music.
I don't know where that even went in the end, to be completely honest. Okay. Thank you, David. I look forward to seeing him back normally. Onto State League One. What's first? Adelaide Blue Eagles versus Cobras. I think this will be Blue Eagles for me, 3-1.
Yeah, look, I think Blue Eagles for me as well. Coming off a big win last week. I know it was against a fighting Western Strikers, but yeah, I'm sure Dante will be back starting as well. So another goal threat. So I'm going to go Blue Eagles 2-0.
2-0. I'm going to go Blue Eagles 4-1.
Next up is Adelaide Victory versus Cumberland. I think this is Cumberland for me, 3-0.
Cumberland for me. I'm just trying to work out a score. I'm going to go 4-0. No, 4-1, sorry. Let's go 4-1.
Yeah, I was going to go Cumbie 3-1. So, yeah, I'll put those down.
Sorry, it was a free kick. Sorry.
I'm slightly behind. I'm slightly behind you then.
Oh, sorry. It looks. Oh, it's Danny Choi free kick as well.
Yeah, I know. Looks like it's cramping. So.
Well, that looks to be going
next
into
game.
Extra time. Oh, it is going into extra time. Sturt Lions versus Western Strikers. This will be Sturt for me, 3-0.
I'm gonna go. You're on mute. Mark,
sorry, I just couldn't find my mouse. So I couldn't find my mouse to get myself off mute. And I was like, "Where's the mouse gone?" I was like searching the three screens. I couldn't find it. Alessio, you pick what's your pick?
I'm gonna go Sturt 3-0 as well.
I'm gonna go Sturt as well. We're gonna go 2-0. Just to change it up from you two a little bit. What did you go with, Seb? 3?
I don't remember at this point. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Listen, once I've got the shirt on, my mind is half elsewhere.
Well, you'll be all right. What's next?
By the time it's half time of extra time, then it'll be easier to get through all these.
Hopefully. Fulham United versus West Torrens Burkalla. This will be Burkalla for me. 2-0.
I'm going to go Burks 4-1.
I'm on the Burks with you guys. Yeah. What'd you say? Let's go 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm heading as well. Berks are just in awesome form. So yeah, I'm gonna go 4-1 along with you, Les. Yo.
Playford City versus Salisbury United. The winner here is the North. But I'm going to go with a Playford 2-1 win.
I'm going
Is this
Playford
at
4-2.
Playford's ground?
Yeah.
I'll split the difference. Playford 3-1.
Wait,
Yeah.
did
All right,
everyone
last
go?
game.
Oh.
Yeah, I went Playford 4-2.
Vipers versus West. I told you. Vipers versus West Adelaide. This West Adelaide for me, 3-1.
So I'm going to go a
I'm
Vipers
gonna-
win here. Sorry, let's I'll quickly
You
go.
do-
I'm going
no,
to
you-
go. I'm going to go Vipers 2-1.
2-1. I'm going to go a 2-2 draw in this.
On to the WMPL, Salisbury Inter versus Flinders United. I think this will be a Salisbury Inter win, 3-0. Flinders
I'm
just
going
in
to go draw in this.
draw.
Yeah.
Mark.
I want to go with I'm hoping Adelaide Uni can get a win, but I don't think it's going to happen. So Salisbury Inter for me.
Sturt versus Metro. I'm going to go for a Sturt 2-1 win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sturt win as well.
Yeah, so am I. I'm going to go a Sturt win. I think they're going to take a lot of confidence out of that cup final into the
At
into the
Crinier
league.
as well.
Yep.
Adelaide City versus SANTC at City Park. I think it's a big game
Yep.
in context of finals. I think I'm going to go with.
I'm going to go with NTC win.
I think I'm going to go draw.
I'll go Adelaide City then.
Adelaide Uni versus West Adelaide, top versus bottom. I don't see Adelaide University getting any points, to be honest, for the rest of the season. I think they'll be relegated, and I think even West Adelaide will actually win. I think they can win the league this week, so I'm going to go for West Adelaide as well.
Adelaide
And
for me as well.
Yeah, West Adelaide for me as well. How can you not? In great form.
Burkalla versus Comets. Comets for me, 3-1.
Comments for me as well.
Comets for me as well. I think they'll have enough to get past Berks.
Finally, to the penultimate round of the men's MPL. We've gone through it so quickly already. Modbury Jets versus Adelaide Croatia Raiders. A huge game for both of these teams for completely different reasons. Raiders needing the points to stay up, Modbury needing the points to get in front of Metro. I think Modbury will win, though, 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going Modbury 3-1.
I'm going to go Modbury 3-2.
Croydon versus Adelaide Comets. I'm going to go for Comets 3-1 here.
Yeah, I will go Comets. I'll go a simple 2-1.
I'm going to go Comets 4-1.
Para Hills Knights versus Campbelltown City at the Paddocks. I think this will be a draw. 1-1.
I'm going to go Campbelltown 2-0.
I'm going to go Campbelltown 3-1.
Adelaide United versus FK Beograd, separated by only 2 points. Adelaide United. Oh, this is my game as well. Adelaide United to win 3-1 for me.
I'm going
And- and I-
FKB
and-
grades.
And I don't think that is slight bias creeping in from my current mindset either.
I'm
It,
going
it never
FKB
is. Just to clarify, it never is during commentary. I'm completely unbiased during commentary.
I'm going FKB grade. I'm going to go 4-3.
I'm going to go beer grad as well. I'm going to go 3-2.
Metro Stars versus Adelaide City. I think I'm going to go for a City win, 2-1. And Rafael Leao to get his first goal.
I'm
I'm
going to
going to
go.
go.
You got us, yeah.
And you're going to say. I was just going to say I'm going to go Metro 4-2.
I was going to go a draw. A 3-3 draw.
And finally, Adelaide Olympic versus South Adelaide, two teams, or one already relegated, one teetering on relegation. I think Adelaide Olympic to win 3-0.
Yeah, I'm going Olympic here as well. And I'm going to go with a 2-1
To who? To
to Olympic.
Olympic.
Yep.
And who did you say, Seb?
I said 3-0 Olympic.
I'm going to go the most annoying thing. I reckon South Adelaide's going to get a win here. They're just going to piss them off. I'm going to go South Adelaide 2-1. I reckon the rideouts just want to piss people off and just going to turn it on. And Olympic are going to be trying their hardest, but South Adelaide is going to say, "Matt, you're coming down. If we're going down, you're coming with us."
I love your reasoning this season, Leslie. I think you've said one result once because you thought it was funny. I think I remember that. You said one team
That
winning
was the
funny,
start of
and-
it, yeah.
Yeah, you've just said they're going to win just to piss them off.
They will, I bet you.
Very,
Even if,
very
you
well.
know
Very
what,
much
even if that
looking forward.
happens, and our other predictions of for me, even if Power Hills and Raiders still lose, it still goes down to the last game as well.
Yeah.
So, and South can still have a play in that next week if it's still close this week
Against Para as well,
South's-
yeah.
Yeah, Souths have got Para the final week, so that'd be an interesting
Imagine they
one.
play at their dangerous artificial pitch as well.
They're not allowed to. Council's already closed it. They're not allowed to. So it'll be played elsewhere. So
I'm just looking at
Yeah.
permutation as well. Would I be correct in saying if Modbury lose against Raiders and Metro win against City,
then
that's-
yes, it's all
Metro
over.
won the league?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, there's 2 points at the moment. So there's only one. There's 6 points at the moment to play for. So if Modbury lose and Metro win, then yeah, they win the league. Simple as that.
And Campbelltown
But-
could still possibly do it.
Well, if Metro
it's
and
slim
Modbury both lose, yeah. If Metro and Modbury
Yeah.
both lose the last 2 games and Campbelltown win both, they've got a big turnaround in goal difference. Won't matter if they win both. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Campbelltown
And if-
relying on Modbury and Metro to both lose.
Yeah, if either of Para Hills or Raiders win and Olympic don't win, then that's it as well for Olympic.
Well, yeah. So if basically if one of Raiders or Para Hills lose, Olympic is still in with a chance. If one of those win,
Yeah.
that team is then safe. Basically,
It's going to be an interesting weekend.
It's going to be very
Yeah.
interesting. What games are covered, Seb? What games are being covered by who?
They all are. Every game's covered this weekend. Lesio, you're at Modbury on Friday. Connie's at Croydon on Saturday. David's at Para Hills. I'm at Adelaide United against Beergrad. Johnny's at Metro versus City. And then Connie's at Olympic South Adelaide. So all games covered. So no excuses to miss any. Oh, have we
And
scored?
Adelaide. Yeah, Adelaide's not just
yeah, DeCooley.
the
Oh,
Yeah.
come on!
Can't save the keeper there, Mark.
Oh, well done, Yaya. Okay, well that's good. Yeah. On that note, yeah, cool. All right, that's all for this week. I think. Very much looking forward to the weekend ahead.
He
Very,
just
very
wants to get off
interesting.
and watch the rest of this game. Just a quick shout out to TJ
Oh, yeah, I
Goalkeeping
forgot about that.
for
Oh, no.
that's all right, Seb. We got you covered, mate. For sponsoring our Goalkeeper of the Year award. So any goalkeeping requirements, please reach out to TJ Gloves, Tassie Breed, or myself, and I can point you in the right direction. But great gloves. Now, obviously, still being worn by the one and only Joe Gauci over at Aston Villa. So yes, so if you do need goalkeeping attire, please reach out.
Yeah, before we go, anything else anyone wants to wants to add?
Not that I know of. There's going to be some interesting games as well next week in the Australia Cup as well.
Oh
Make
yeah,
sure you keep
Modbury.
an
We didn't even
eye
talk
out.
about Modbury. Oh yeah, we can. Is that on the Tuesday? We can probably predict that if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, we could put it in the predictions actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Modbury to win 3-1.
I'll go Modbury 2-1. Got to stick with the SA teams. So Modbury 2-1.
Who are they playing? Do you know what's the team called? Is it
Melbourne, Serbia.
Melbourne, Serbia. It's going to be. I'm going to say because you can predict the distance of these games. Remember, Mark and Seb. So I'm going to go.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
want
I'm
that.
not 90. No, 90
I
minutes.
don't want
2-1.
I'm going to go Modbury 3-2 in extra time.
Some big weeks coming up for Modbury too.
Yeah,
Croatia
that's-
Raiders.
yeah.
Croatia Raiders, Melbourne, Serbia, Campbelltown, and then who they got last?
Finals.
Oh, that's it.
That's
it. Yeah. Very, very fun. All right, we'll head off. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure having both of your company, and if you've been watching, very nice to have had you with us. Follow us on all our socials, and we'll see you next week to see what has occurred over the time.
Catch up. See you later.
Hey, guys.
I just hit top bins, 1-2 touch, yeah, we're locked in. I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.